What Happened This Week podcast. Just two best friends chatting in the trailer about all the things you are thinking about. Because you never know with Kim and Tricia.
All right. Wow. What a week. Like we are recording on a Thursday night. This is like unheard of. We never record the night before we drop a podcast.
We drop at 6 a.m. Yeah, we drop at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Right. So after this is all done, we'll be doing I'll be working on some edits, I'm sure. But yeah, what a week. So as we, when on the last podcast, I think we said we would be crying and having mimosas. And while you're at home, I hope are you able to have a mimosa right now? Are you nursing?
I am nursing, but let's start with this, I have my baby.
Woo woo! Boy or girl? No, we knew what it was.
Exactly. Hey, if you want to know what we had, you better go listen to that episode.
That's right. Exactly.
Exactly. No, I haven't had a drink yet. So,
why not?
So, I don't know, a little gun shy, I think.
Yeah, because you'll be a cheap date for sure for Jason.
Exactly. So,
and you want to be sound in mind. You want to be sound in mind and body too. You have like a 5-day-old baby at the house. You don't want to start kicking him back yet.
No. Here we go. Let's party now. So, no mimosas yet. So we had said we're going to be meeting with mimosas and life was going to be grand. And, still super thankful life is grand. Just was a different turn of events for you, for me. Things were different.
Yes. So let's start with, you went in on last Friday, so a week ago tomorrow when we dropped this. You went in for your scheduled C-section.
Yeah,
right?
We got there at 5. Yep, got there at 5 a.m. Did all pre-op, went in the operating room, had the C-section, and now, so this is my third child, and I've witnessed all three types of delivery. I had my oldest, I had completely natural, no epidural, nothing, and regular, delivery. I had Reagan, regular delivery with an epidural, and then this was the C-section. I will tell you, anyone who may be pregnant or thinking of getting pregnant or halfway through their pregnancy, get ready to deliver, option number 2, best thing you can possibly do. I cannot believe the amount of pain that came with this.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. As painful as my first delivery was, it was during that time, and then it ended, and then within a few days or whatever. But it was pain in a different spot. This was couldn't move pain.
Right. And C-sections, it's a major surgery. Make no mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And it's just the bending down and up and trying to care for a baby at the same time and trying not to take the drugs that they give you. Yeah, it's a major surgery. Make no mistake. It's childbirth, but it's also a major surgery. They cut your inside up. I remember that pain vividly still to this day. I actually had we've talked about this a few episodes ago when I had the tummy tuck. I would take a tummy tuck any day over a C-section. So I know the pain is just unreal. Are you taking any medication?
Well, they gave me they give you Motrin and Percocet, and Motrin is really for the cramping and that part of it, and the Percocet's for the pain. So obviously I had a spinal, and when that started wearing off, they gave me 2 Percocet. I just don't handle medicine all that well, and I just didn't like how I felt. So we did switch it down to 1, and then, honestly, I think I had that 2, that 1, and then I just stayed with Motrin until there was one day that was I had missed the Motrin, and the pain was just unbearable. I had gone too long. And so I asked for a Percocet, and they gave it to me. But, so I think I had a total of 4 in the whole time I was there. It's just...
Did they send you home with any?
Yeah, they sent me home with some, and I filled it because it's just fill it just in case. I don't know why I bothered, because I'm not going to take it,
I'll take it. You can sell it, give it to me. I'll sell it on the black street.
Exactly.
I might be selling it in the trailer hood.
There you go. I bet you can jump it quick. So, and he was, the reason we had the C-section was he was a big baby and he was breached. Well, he was breached and then on a Friday, and then I went back on Tuesday and he was not breached. And then by
Oh,
Friday,
wow.
when I had him, he had turned himself where his head was in my ribs. He wasn't completely breached, but his head was, they had to like pull his head out of my ribs. So, but yeah, everything went well with all of that. It was definitely like just a different experience to say the least. But that was Friday. Come Saturday, he had a little bit of spit up, and it was green. Apparently, green's a bad color if you spit it up. And it said like the nurses, it was like 0 to like 150 in like a second and a half. Like the nurse was like in high mode, like all of a sudden the x-ray machine was in our room, and then the neonatologist was in our room even before the x-ray machine left our room to look at the x-ray, because apparently it was bile, and bile should never be coming up through the esophagus because it's already been through the stomach. So they were concerned he had a twist or a blockage. They ended up taking him to the NICU and bringing in GI surgeons and doing some tests on him. And fortunately, he did not have a block, did not have a twist. They're still not quite sure why it happened, but he did have to go to the NICU, and he had to stay an extra day. So, but he got to come home on Tuesday, and he is perfect and wonderful and sleeping well and eating well and doing all the things baby do. So it's amazing. It's the best, unbelievable experience. I
But
think
scary.
that
I'm sure it was scary there for a little bit for you.
it was terrifying. It was because the discussion was, we were at Jupiter Medical, and they have a NICU unit, but the GI surgeon operates at Wellington. And so they're like, okay, we're going to have to transfer him to Wellington. And I'm just like, I'm not allowed to leave the hospital for another day. I can't be discharged for another day. And they're talking about taking my baby to another hospital, which means now, obviously, my husband would go to the hospital with the baby, and I'd be like by myself, like in a terrifying situation. Like that, the thought of that was just awful. And thankfully, the surgeon said, you know what, no, we can do all testing here. If he has to have surgery, then we'll have to transfer him. But so everything was fine. That was it. And then it was like 6 hours from the time they took him from our room until we were able to see him again. And
Goodness.
we kept calling, like, hey, can we come? We need to come. We need to come. We need to come. And they're like, we were having a really hard time getting the IV. And tried for like 4 hours to get the IV back in him. And they finally just said no more. And yeah, so that's why they wouldn't let us in. I mean, I'm just thinking of my poor baby, like, bye. Like, his mommy and daddy aren't there, and he's in pain, and he's crying. And so, but he's a super chill baby so far. I've taken every moment I can just to hold him and be with him, knowing, I think, really taking in that this is my last baby. Like, knowing for certain this is my last baby. I had my tubes cut out, so it's definitely my last baby. Like, it just seems so, it's just different. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like I don't want to say a bittersweet, but it's kind of like a very different, it's like a humbling experience in the sense of this is your last baby, so you want to take it all in, for sure.
Yeah, like just want to soak all of it in and just, just snuggle with him and love with him. Not that I didn't snuggle and love with my other kids, but it just is, it's very real knowing that this would definitely be my last baby.
So is he on a schedule now, eating and sleeping?
Yeah, he's doing really, really well. He, for the most part, during the day, he eats about every 3 hours, and up until about 5 p.m. And then starting around 5:30, he's on a we like power feed every 2 hours until like the last feed is at like 10:30, 10:45. And then that's when we go to sleep. He's been sleeping until almost 4. So then
wow.
we feed it.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I'm telling you, 100%. So, and this, I mean, it's only been a couple days, but so he eats at 4, and then like he woke up this morning at little after 7 and ate again, and then he went and lay back down for a few more hours. We had a doctor's appointment with the pediatrician today, so he had to be ready for that by 10. But yeah, and then he slept we left the pediatrician and we were in the car, and he slept for a long time. We got home and I fed him. He just laid on my chest and slept for like 2 hours. Like, man, somebody needs to wake this baby up because he can not be sleeping all this time and then not sleep at night. So So
Yeah,
he's
you
gonna
definitely have
wake
to get
for
him in
like
some type of
2 hours.
schedule.
Yeah, he's doing really well though. So I'm pretty excited that we've had 2 good nights of sleep.
Yeah, that's a score, especially like it's only been like a week ago. I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be 5 days, right? Is it 6
No,
days?
tomorrow's 7 days is a week.
7
Tomorrow
days.
he's
That's
1 week
right.
old tomorrow. Yeah. So
Wow. Well, that's good.
yeah.
So it was scary in the beginning, but it seems like he's just a chill baby. I can't wait to come watch him and come see him.
I know,
Now
he's so
I don't. Now
awesome.
that I'm
He's
negative for COVID, so I can come see him now. Or how long do you have to wait?
Zach. No, I mean, like, you can see him now. Like, I mean, I know you don't have
Okay.
babies, so you can come see him. But he
For
has
now,
like
yeah.
like dark hair. Yeah, so he's got dark hair, but he's got this like blonde patch on top. It's kind of crazy.
What?
Maybe he is your baby. Maybe he is your baby. He's got your stripe.
He's got my stripe. Oh my God, you were
Yes.
carrying my baby this whole time. Oh my God, he is mine. I have to come by and see him because I know that usually you got to be very cautious in the beginning. So I know you're in a home setting. So, I'll have nothing but time on my hands now because we have officially sold the house. We actually closed today. Woohoo! And so we pre-closed today. Tomorrow the lady will take ownership of the house. And it's been a hell of a week. I'm going to tell you what. I am sitting in the camper right now. And I have decided, while it's temporary, I need to lose weight because I'm sitting on the toilet sideways, number one. That's a real struggle. I don't know how to flush the toilets in the camper, but I've quickly had to figure out how to flush the toilets in the camper. Something I noticed about the... I know, but you have to fill it up with a certain amount of water if you're going to go number 2. Otherwise, you can clog up the pipes. We've had it. We had an incident, so we have. I've cleared that up since then. Let's just say our campers smell like the poopy camper on the block, but we fixed that really quick. Now, here's something hilarious I have to say. We checked in here. We pulled the camper in here on Saturday. So you had the baby Friday. We pulled it on Saturday. Do you know I still have not met the guy that runs this RV park?
Oh, really?
Like, he said to me when I called him to reserve the spot, he said, well, when you pull in, I'll see you. Great. Right. I got here Saturday. James's dad pulled in the camper. We still haven't seen him. So I thought to myself, well, is this like normal? Because normally when you check in somewhere, you get like a map of the place, you kind of get like the rundown of like where to go. Like, could you tell me like where the laundry room is? Things like that. So I call him the lot lord because when I had talked to him initially, he just kind of sounded like the lot lord. So finally last night I said, well, geez, they have shower rooms here where you can actually get into the shower rooms, but there's a combination. So I emailed him and I was like, hey, I said, we're all moved in. If you haven't noticed, I'd like to have the combination to the shower room. Girl, he sent it to me. I went to the shower room. That's where I'm going number 2 from now on. It's only a golf cart right away. And this place has a bar. Now I think it's the guy who lives here is back. I think it's the guy that lives here. I think it's his porch, but it looks like a bar, like for the neighborhood. So we've been walking around. We have to take the dogs out. So that's been different. And one thing James and I noticed: everybody that lives in the RV park is tan.
Okay.
Like they don't work and they're tan. Like they. We don't have a swimming pool, but I think these people just walk their dogs and sit out on their patios all day and drink. So it's been a challenge. The first night we didn't have any hot water, so we realized now we have hot water. So I don't take showers if it's not. I mean, I could have if I had to. Everything moves even when you don't move. Yes, now, girl, that's where I'm going to go shave my that's where I'm going to go shave my legs because I can't shave my legs in the shower. I can't bend down. It ain't going to work. I'm going to fall out. So I was like, I'm going to go there and shave my legs. So I'm excited about that. Wait till Taylor. I've got to get some shower shoes though, because it's like a community shower thing, You got to go with your Crocs. So I got to make sure I get some shower shoes. Yes, exactly. And then I noticed that I really overpacked for the occasion. So my storage unit is to the brim. Like, I've had to downsize on a lot of things. I appreciate counter space more. And then the other scary part is that we had been looking at homes, and we put an offer in on a house. They accepted the offer. Then come to find out, the woman tested positive for COVID-19. So James and I immediately, very scary, we're like thinking we're going to die because we're obese, right? So we think that, because they say that if you have underlying conditions, that's who dies from it. Immediately our eyes started itching. Our throats started, we're like going through the whole, like, oh my gosh, you have pink eye, we're swollen, we think we're going to die. So we immediately went to Access, like an urgent care center. We just sit in our car for like 2 hours. And I have to say, it's been I don't know if you've had to experience this with Jason yet, but when there was a health scare, like, as we've only been married for 3 years and we haven't really had a health scare. Thank God, we're healthy except we're obese. But I've never seen James in an environment of being scared for his life, health wise. This man, we were sitting in the Jeep for 2 hours waiting to get tested for COVID. And it was the quietest ride I've ever had. Like, it was just like, we like wrote our will. Like, it was just, he was so terrified. It's just like, maybe we should lose weight now. Like, he just thought, he was very quiet. He just was thought he was going to die. So then finally we get the COVID test and they put this thing like up your brain. Well, you had yours tested, right?
Yeah, I had to have it done before they would let me.
Okay, so you know what they felt like.
It's terrible. I describe it as, you ever jump in a swimming pool and get water up your nose? Like, that's what it felt like. But
that's exactly it.
When you get the water up your nose, like, it's like you're getting it out quickly. And that's what the first 5 seconds of the test feels like. But the test is 10 seconds long. And then after that, oh my heavens, like, my eyes were like pouring. Like, it's very, very, very uncomfortable. And if someone tells you they've had the COVID test and it's not that bad, whoever did their test didn't do it correctly, because it is awful.
Agreed. James totally. Well, so what's crazy is that Shannon was getting tested. She was sitting in her car and she got to get front row to get James getting tested with it going up his nose. And she's like, I wish I would have videotaped it, because it's not a pleasant experience at all. So of course, like, we had to wait. They said it was going to take 3 to 5 days for us to get our results. So of course, in that 3 to 5 time, well, we got him back within 3 days. But we were thinking we're dying, this, like, I felt like we were waiting for a result of an STD test or something,
Exactly.
like this is like scary to me, that I'm going to sit here and die of something. And it came back negative, which was good. But we ended up pulling out of the house. I don't know if it was a bad omen. We found out that the insurance was going to be high. So, and here's the problem. We drank about it and we didn't think about it. Okay. When we made the decision, we literally went and looked at this house. We went to the bar. We're going to buy it. And so we offered sticker price, which is something I never would have done, because we've never offered sticker price, because I'm so cheap. I'm trying to offer them $100,000 less than what they're asking, but we offered them sticker price. And I think we had buyer's remorse. I think with the COVID-19, just a couple of factors involved in that. So luckily we ended up pulling out of that. So we didn't end up doing that. So now we're, back in the camper, and I'm realizing, I told Shannon today when we were closed, I said, I will no longer drink about it. I'm going to think about it. I promise. I'm not going to send you a text at like midnight and say, hey, let's put an offer in on that house. And then the other thing that happened to me, all in a good week, I'm leaving the house and I'm cleaning my house. It took me like 3 or 4 days, to clean up, the old house. My Jeep wouldn't start.
Oh, God.
So I'm stranded in my old home and it won't start. Or at that time, Kelly pulled in because she was bringing me something. We changed out all the fuses, and my battery was dead. But it was just so happened I was going to Sebastian the next day. So I'm like, you know what, dear Lord, I've got it. I've had enough. Can I just give me a break? So I'm hoping that this weekend will be a nice little break. But it's definitely a mimosa worth crying over and having a couple of cocktails, that's for sure. And that's the only thing you can do when you're in the camper is drink. You don't want to. I mean, it's you're sitting in a very small area.
How's Taylor? Is she doing okay?
Well, as good as she can be. She's a part-time resident, so she doesn't have to be here full-time with us. That's a good news. She has decorated a little bit. So I did find an 18-inch TV. So I have a TV that we're going to put up. She's decorated a little bit. She has her own AC unit. She got the master bedroom. So because James wanted the bigger cutout for the bigger TV. Yeah, so she's like, I mean, it's not the best situation, but I think she's managing. So I think she thinks we're camping, but we're not. Oh, well, yeah, it could be. I mean, I think she thinks this is like short term. I'm like, oh no, I'm like, let's go walk the campground. Let's take the dogs for a walk. So we're going to go to the RV park or the RV store this weekend and look for some ways to maximize our storage space because I'm running out of room. Yeah. So these beds lift up so you can throw clothes underneath them. And I just got so irritated. I just started throwing clothes. So we've got to figure out how to, my freezer is the size of a shoebox. So I have to be very thoughtful of what I'm going to cook, which is not nothing. I haven't cooked jack since we got here because I don't know how to use the stove. I'm afraid I'm going to blow up the camper. So that's the only home I have. I don't have anywhere else to go. So I think James and I are going to practice. I think we're going to YouTube it or something maybe and try to figure out how to get the stove running. That could be a disaster in itself. So how did Reagan take to the baby?
Oh my God. I sent you that video, right?
You did. I couldn't understand if she was laughing or if she was crying.
She was so excited. So, Jason's mom had really been working with her while we were in the hospital. Like, baby Grady's here and, he's going to be coming home. And so she was getting more excited because the day before we went to the hospital to have him, she said, no, baby Grady sleeps outside. Like, she was not having this. Like, baby did not have. Yeah, she said baby Grady sleep outside. I was like, no. And so, so I got released, but Grady had to stay. So we stayed until like one of the later evening feedings for him. And then we came home because we hadn't seen Reagan in 4 or 5 days. I don't even know what it was at that point. And so before we even went to the hospital, we bought a little stuffed puppy dog for Reagan so that Grady could give her this puppy. She loves like stuffed puppies. And so we brought that home with us and we said, here, Grady's still at the doctor, but he wants you to have this. He bought this for you. Oh my God. Then she fell in love with this puppy. She loves this thing so much. And so we took her to the babysitter the next morning and told her that, we're going to hopefully, Grady gets to come home today. And luckily he did. And we got to bring Grady home first. And then Jason went a few hours later to the babysitter to pick her up. And she comes in the door and she couldn't see me holding him because I was sitting on the couch that was, the back to her. She's like, Grady's not here. And then she turns to her. She's like, oh, Grady. And it was like such delight and excitement and genuine pleasure, that she was so excited and she was kissing him and then she's hugging him and then he was crying and so then she was mimicking his cry and then that whole night she just wanted to snuggle with us and so she snuggled with us on the couch and then we were in bed and Gavin was holding her. She got up next to Gavin and snuggled with Gavin, and she's doing really well, much better than I thought this was going to go. It could have gone either way. So, she wanted him to sleep outside 5 days prior. So,
and I'm sure as time goes by, as he gets older, she'll probably want him to sleep outside. But he's still cute right now.
Yeah, so every day when she gets home from school, she's like, "Where's baby Grady?" And she runs to him. So far so good.
Oh, that's awesome. So she's really taken to him. She's probably going to be a big help. She'll probably, as she gets older too, want to hold him and feed him and push him around in a stroller and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, she like we had the changing table and she's like, I'm gonna change. She's like, I help you, and she runs and gets her little stool and then stands up there to help, and we go to change him and he pees. He peed everywhere. He peed all over her. He peed on Jason. He peed on her. Peed everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh. So she peed on her.
He's marking his territory. That's what he's doing.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. Like little boys pee all over the place. But yeah, no.
That's right. The luxuries of the little boy. You got to make sure you cover up that little. I bet. Are you tired? Or are you feeling pretty good?
No, I'm good. And we bought those PPTPs. Like they're these things that they're little cones and you put it over his pee when you change him. Yeah, that's what they're called. PPTPs.
What is it called?
A PPTP.
PPTPs?
Yes.
A PPTP. I wonder if I could use those for the camper for James.
Yeah. No, it covers the PP. So he pees into that. If he pees as I'm changing them.
Gotcha. Okay, it doesn't hold the pee. I'm trying to maximize space in here, so I'm just trying to think about how I could that wouldn't work for James in the camper. I don't think so. No. I have to say too, we have cable. We don't have cable. We have internet, so we're doing everything through internet. And so we haven't tapped into your Hulu yet, but we may. However, Danielle, shout out to Danielle, she texted me and said, "Have you checked out Pluto TV?" So we now have Pluto TV, and it's like we're doing a binge watching of Cops and The Hills. Mm-hmm. Like, remember The Hills back in the day? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they have a bunch of channels on there. So we're just we don't know what's going on in the world except for Facebook, And that's the other crazy thing. I can't believe this bridge.
Oh my God, insane, right? Like, let's just throw another thing in there.
Like, really, like, we need something else. It's on CNN, I've heard. We don't get CNN, but I've heard it's, like, all over the news. And then Shannon, when I was talking to her today, she's literally, like, where the office is. She's 2 minutes from it on the good day. But now she has to go all the way around. And then I keep hearing articles or reading articles on Facebook, and I don't know, they said maybe 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
That's wild. People are. I was down there today. I was off of East Ocean, and just like that East Ocean, when you're trying to get to the island, that's the way people are going now. Mm-hmm. It was insane, crazy. So I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know. Was it the engineer?
It's the seal failed, like, inside, and so Jason is an engineer. He went to school for engineering, and he said that in one of his classes he actually studied that bridge like for a couple weeks, and it's designed to where the concrete's supposed to fail before the steel does or whatever. So but it's a suspension bridge. That's what it is. Just because you see those pillars that are in the water aren't what's holding the bridge up. Those cables are holding the bridge up as a suspension bridge. And that's why, since those cables broke, that's the issue. Like, you'd be like, what do you mean cables broke? It's being held up by these concrete pillars, and that's not the case. So. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's just wild. I just, like you said, like, throw something else at us. Like, what else do we need with everything with the, the COVID and then everything that's going on in the news with the police officers and now the bridge? It's like, I don't know. I'm just waiting for a unicorn to show up in my backyard, and that's okay, like, acceptable. Like, everybody's going to have unicorns popping up everywhere. Like, I don't know. I'm just waiting. I'm just over 2020, and I just, like, want to get on with life and, where it may take us. So, well, I'm so glad we got to chat. I know we've only been able to talk on text, so it's kind of nice to be able to talk to you. Unfortunately, I can't see you, but I will definitely try to make it up there this weekend. If not, well, probably I'll try to get up there. Maybe if not Sunday, maybe I'll try to get up there Monday. We can try to record.
Yeah, definitely. We gotta get another episode in already.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, and don't worry about, we're not going to have any show notes because I'm not worried about it because I kind of came late
Yeah.
last night. I'm sorry. I know we were going to record last night, but then I had to rehome my cat and I had a mental breakdown and I cried. I don't think James's parents have ever
Oh.
seen me cry. I don't think
They're
I cried at my wedding, but I cried when I gave my cat away.
they're like, she's human.
But yeah, oh my God, she exists. And I'm like, my cat. I was like full on panicking and yeah, it was a bad night. And yeah, so he's fine. I mean, she's like, the cat's in cat heaven and she is, he stayed under her bed. She gave me a full report this morning, like at 7 o'clock. Like, just tell me what.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she tells me later on. She's like, I need you to bring an old shirt of yours or James's here so that I can put it in a basket so he can smell you. I'm like, he is in the right place because she gets it,
I told you that
So
your cat is going to the better home than you are, and
that I had
like
for him.
exactly, so sweet. What about the dogs? How are they?
Oh, girl, I don't even. We were just sitting outside of the camper not too long ago, and I felt like we had 4 Reagans running around here. Like you could hear the thumping, and the dogs. It's tough. They want to get up and they want to go potty at 2, 4, 5 in the morning, and
Oh
we're in a
God.
very, very cramped space, and it's a work in progress. Yeah, words can't. It smells like dog in here. Like I told James we have to give him a bath. It's just, and they struggle. I think Collar has arthritis getting up and down the steps.
Oh God. What you need to do is make a ramp on like your back door or your front door or something. You have
Okay.
2 doors on that rig. So if you have 2 doors, like take like one the back door, like where y'all's room is, and make a ramp for them.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there's actually another RV in here that does have a ramp. So that's probably why, because for their dogs. It's a very dog-friendly park in here. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice thing. So, you see a lot of dogs walking around, but they're just, it's not home for them. They're used to just running around. So, I'm irritated with them and they're irritated with me. And, and then when Taylor's here, it's like a full house. So I told James, I'm like, I'm going to take up reading. I don't even like to read. I'm going to. I need a hobby, so I have something to do.
I gave you this advice to put this ramp in, but then I'm picturing it like 2 a.m. James has been on the Tito's, and so you all have to. If you have a ramp for the dog, like y'all are gonna have to go down this ramp because there's not gonna be a side step for you, right? So here's
Right.
James on Tito's at 2 o'clock in the morning taking Bella out down this ramp. Like it is not ending well.
No, face plating right on the concrete.
Yes.
I did tell him, I was like, no, it probably wouldn't be, but maybe it's retractable. We could try to figure something out. I did say that, like, 'cause we have the outside set up. James brought his workbench from the. We have a workbench sitting outside of our RV. Like James wants to put up. He wants to put up hedges, like Areca palms. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, that means it's permanent, right? This is temporary. We're not planting shit here. But like I said, we have to fix this porch area because it just looks like home, and I want it to be nothing out there, So he brought 3 coconut trees because we have coconut trees. We had put them in pots. He brought 3 of them with us so we could watch them grow. I'm like, no.
Aww.
So it's definitely it's interesting. I mean, it's like we're having a couple of moments of silence, because we're running out of stuff to talk about. I've never been so close before. I think we gotta take up Monopoly or something. Maybe some Uno. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
But your boss is like, Kim, we're gonna need you to go out of town for 3 days. Can I go for 3 weeks?
Right. Well, it's funny because I said to my boss today, the big boss, I said, when I was in Sebring, she's like, how's it going? Until we sold the house, she's like, you can come stay in Sebring, and I'm totally okay with. I'll approve you to come here and stay for a couple of days. She's like, I did the same thing when I was moving, so I was like, all right, cool. So I think I'll go hang out in Sebring. I'm okay with that. Hey, okay. I don't know if I'm back to a camper or not. It'll be destroyed. Right. I'm having an issue with dirty clothes hamper too because it's, I like to wash clothes a lot, so I'm struggling with
Right.
dirty clothes, and so I got to figure out a solution for that. I'm hoping and you have to have special kind of toilet paper for the RVs too,
Yes.
the dissolvable kind. So now I have to go to the RV park, and I have all my Amazon packages going to Kelly's house. So, but I found out they deliver here though. I saw them in the hood.
You can tell your lot number.
Well, those were for Kelly. Lot 29. I know I saw them cruising in the hood. I'm like, wait a minute. So I might chance it. Just nothing expensive, because I bought some solar power luau layups.
Okay.
I don't know. They're here. I got to put them in. So we'll see. I got it on the Tito's, and I got some lights too. So we'll see how this works out. So because it's so dark out there, and so I don't know. We'll see.
Cool.
I probably keep buying stuff, and I have nowhere to put it. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'll definitely make sure I come by and see the baby, and we're going to make sure we're going to post a picture of the baby. I know we put it on Facebook for everyone to see, and we'll make sure that we put it on I'm going to still put it on the blog. And thanks, guys, so much for joining us today. It's it's been a whirlwind of a week. I kind of feel like, it's just been an emotional week for us both. So, but in a good way, good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a lot at one time,
It's very overwhelming.
So I'm ready to move on for another week. It's exactly very overwhelming. It's just like woosah, So it's just when it's not part of your routine. When you're you're very routine based, and then when things start throwing you for a loop, it kind of like throws you off a little bit, All right, we'll make sure to come see you next, or I'll see you in a couple of days. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us today.
Bye.